Come join me while I teach you how to make this twisted ribbing stitch on our loom. To cast on, you're going to start with a slip knot. You're going to take the loop of the knot and place it in front of the first peg, and you're going to take your working yarn and bring it behind. You're going to meet the loop and the working yarn in between the two pegs and pull the working yarn through the first loop. You'll then take that loop and do the same thing, pull the working yarn through the back. And you're going to repeat this until you get to your desired length. For this pattern specifically, you're going to need an odd number of loops. When you get to the end, you're going to take the last loop and just place it over a peg. So for your foundational row, we're just going to do an entire row of regular knit stitches. You're just going to take the working yarn and pull it behind the loop and put it on the peg. For this blanket, I want the braided border on the outside, so when I start my next row, I'm actually going to skip the first peg. So now to start the stitch on the second peg, you're going to take the loop off and you're going to turn it counterclockwise or to the right, whatever way you can remember, and you're going to then knit that on. And for the next one, you're going to just do a simple purl stitch, which you're just bringing the working yarn through the front of the loop and placing it back on the peg. You're going to continue those two steps until you get to the last loop. So again, you're going to turn it right or counterclockwise, knit, and then do a simple purl, which is you're bringing the working yarn through the front of the loop and placing it back on the peg. It's really important that all your twists are going in the same direction. So the easiest way to remember is when you're working from left to right, you're going to be turning counterclockwise, and when you're working right to left, you're going to be turning clockwise. For your very last loop at the end of the row, you're actually just going to do a simple knit stitch, which is pulling through the bottom and placing it back on the peg. And then when we start our next row, we're not going to go back to that one, we're going to skip it. Now when we're working right to left, remember you're turning clockwise. Everywhere that you've already done a twist, you're just going to do a twist again. And same thing for the purl stitch. Everywhere you've already done a purl stitch, you're just going to continue that on. You just want to make sure that your twist is going the opposite way as the previous row. Once you reach the end of your blanket, to cast off is pretty simple, just like my other videos. You're going to pull a loop probably 2 to 3 times longer than your regular loops. You'll hold on to that first one and you'll pull a loop through the second one, and then you'll take that loop and put it through the previous loop. And you're going to keep doing that all the way until you get to the very end. And once you get to the very end, you're just going to trim your working yarn to be a couple inches, and you're going to pull that through the last loop and pull it tight. And there you have it. You made this beautiful twisted rib stitch, and you have a braided border along the entire blanket.